Hey guys, and here's a very enthusiastic next beginner guide from Devin. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did, leave it a like, and if you want to see more, go check out his channel. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's 789 Devin here today, and I'm bringing you a Nex mask guide. This guide is intended for teams around 8 to 20 man, and I'm going to be showing you just some of the basic tactics. If you're a new Nexer, this is definitely going to be the guide for you because I'm going to be actually Nexing in full Armadillo and a War Tortoise. So this is going to be a perfect example for what a new Nexer would want to watch if you're one. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the gear that you're going to want to take. Okay, so the most common gear if you're going to be in an X-Mass is probably going to be a full Armadillo set. You might see some people with different pieces like Pernix Chaps with the Armadillo, but the main gear that most people are going to have if you're starting off is full Armadillo, and that's perfectly fine. The only thing that's going to happen if you're wearing full Armadillo is you're going to tank a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the gear I'm wearing. You're just going to want to have the full Armadillo set up, and ring is one of the most important things. It's a really important item when you're nexting. You're going to want to have the best ring possible. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the rings real quick. So when it comes to rings, the best ring for Nex is an Onyx Ring Eye. And so if you can get one of them, you definitely need to do that. And if you can't, another really good alternative is a Dragonstone Ring Eye. It takes a lot less time to get a Dragon Ring Eye. And you can also get a shears ring. And I know mine is imbued because I do not have one, but this is actually, for a next mask, pretty good ring to use if you're going to be in full Armadillo, because what it's going to do is it's going to keep you from tanking. Now, people in your team might not appreciate this that much, but I remember when I was in Armadillo, I would always have me a shears ring on. So, yeah, that's pretty much, I think everybody does it. But, okay, so back to the gear. You'll also be able, you can just look at it all. You can just look at it all. The Bear's gloves can be replaced with Goliath gloves, and the Goliath gloves are actually better than the Bear's gloves, so if you have Goliaths, make sure to take them. Before I went over tactics for killing Nex, I'd actually like to go over a few types of auras that people generally use at Nex and tell you which one is best, pretty much. Okay, so the aura that you're going to want to mainly use is going to be Penance. I feel that it's pretty much the best one that you can take. The trips seem to generally last longer if you're on Penance. You can bring more brews and use less restores, and it just makes the trip a lot easier. Vampirism is also another good one to take. I never really can tell because you're always taking a little damage, so it's not really noticeable. But the only time you really can tell is on the Zara's phase. So Greater Poison Purge. This is another good one. It's not the best. I usually do not use it at all. Maybe if both of my auras, penance, and vampirism are not recharged, I'll take it. But it's only going to last for 2 kills max, and that's the greater one. And that is if you get poisoned, so only activate it when you get poisoned. Fourth aura that could be considered for nexing is the Greater Sharpshooter. Though in masses it is pretty much useless as there's too many people and the kills will be going by fast enough. Okay guys, we're almost ready to jump into an actual next kill. But before we start, I'm going to go ahead and go over the inventories. The first inventory I'm going to be showing is the War Tortoise inventory. You're going to just want to fill the whole tortoise full of brews as you can see, and just put the brews in the inventory like it is. That's the basic War Tortoise inventory, and you can bring an extra pouch, but if you're new, you might not last that long, so you might be out of brews by the time the War Tortoise dies, and you'll be on your unicorn. And 2 overload flasks should be good enough, because with a War Tortoise, you're really not going to last that long. And you should probably use a unicorn if you have that instead of bringing a War Tortoise at all, because you can do a trip very good with just a unicorn in a mask. So if you're using a unicorn, use the exact same inventory that I have, just without the War Tortoise. You might want to take some of the brews out of your inventory. Go with about 4 brews, and the rest will be restores. This is the pack X setup. I'd like to note that this pink potion down here is an anti-poison. You will need to take one of these because you do get poisoned some kills. And for this, the only difference is you're going to have to bring 3 overloads instead of 2 because you're going to be lasting a lot longer. The unicorn pouch down here can be replaced with a teleport tab because you do not need 2 unicorn pouches. I just did not have a teleport tab in the bank, so I used it as a placeholder. Overload at the bank before you enter and drink a full Ceridome brew to get to max hit points, and then replace the inventory space with another restore. During the smoke phase, you're going to want to stay melee distance, which is also called MD the whole time. You should DD on everybody and make sure not to run near the tanker. The tanker is the guy that's isolated over there by himself. He's going to tank the virus. If you go near him, you'll have the cough, and then the whole team will have the cough. If this happens, just isolate yourself when the shadow phase comes, and if you're away from everybody, you'll lose the cough in a couple seconds. She just called Fumish, so you're going to want to run over there, and you can see that she just said there is. This is Nex's special attack move for the smoke phase, and what she does is she takes off charging down the little aisle, and if you're in her path, she will hit you for up to about 800. This is a pretty deadly attack, so if you see her say there is, make sure to use melee protection, and that will reduce some of the damage. Once Fumus dies, you want to tag Nex, and this will make her go into the next phase. You need to do this as fast as possible, or she will stay in the smoke phase. Once you're in the shadow phase, you need to be aware of the shadow bomb that she does. If a shadow bomb forms underneath you, you need to get away as soon as possible, or it will explode under you and you will be hit with very high damage. You can do this by clicking rapidly to the next square beside of you. I find if you click like 5 times, it registers more often than if you click once. You're going to want to pray range during this phase, but this is debatable. But I believe that range prayer does help. Also, you're going to want to stay as far away as possible from Nex. The closer you are to her, the more that she hits. Also, if you stay like right near her for a certain amount of time, she will have this effect where she slowly hits you over time. If Nex is on you while you're at Umbra, you can run away to get her away from the team. Once Umbra dies, tag Nex one time and then immediately get off of her. You do not want to keep attacking because she does a siphon. If you attack on the siphon, whatever you hit will heal her. Once she is done siphoning, you can attack. You need to stay melee distance for this phase. Once she says, I demand a blood sacrifice, you will need to count to 5. You need to count her hits up to 5. Once she gets to the 5th hit, you need to get off because she will have a siphon, and if you attack during the siphon, it will kill her. Also, you can tag the Reavers, but that's really not needed in a small team. It does tell you to run in the chat if she picks you for a blood sacrifice. All this does is halves your prayer points, and it's really not a big deal, so do not run. Nobody runs during this. The main thing is do not attack on the siphon or your team's going to get really mad. Once you tag Nex, you will be on the ice phase. The ice phase, you're going to want to stay melee distance the whole time and keep magic prayer on. If the magic prayer drops, you will be frozen for 20 seconds and her attacks will hit considerably higher. If she says contain this, you want to move 1 step away or you will be hit by an ice barrier. If she says die now in a prison of ice, you're going to want to spam to get out, or if your teammate is frozen, you're going to want to hit the ice block to free them. As soon as Glacies dies, death dot on where he was standing and wait to attack Nex until she is melee distance to you. Once she's melee distance, switch to your diamond bolts and start attacking her. If you are tanking a lot, just pray melee the whole time, because Mage Prayer does not really have any effect on the Zaros phase. Make sure to keep your stats as high as possible on this phase, because the person with the lowest stats will tank and the lowest armor, and the person with the lowest defensive bonuses. When Nex dies, run away as fast as possible, because she does a Wrath, and that will cause damage if it hits you. Okay everyone, this is the end of my Nex guide. I really hope it helped you out if you were struggling on doing Nex efficiently in a mass. If there is a large amount of people that want me to make another Nex guide for 4 to 6 man teams, I will. And then if there's anybody that wants it for a 3-man team with just tactics, I can do that as well. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.